I'm sorry, everybody, but this week's Bear Watch is canceled. Instead, I would like to please ask Bushiroad to stop putting Cardfight Vanguard on Saturdays. Do you have any idea how hard it can be to make a Saturday, especially during the holiday season? Like, man, please put it on like a Tuesday or a Thursday when there's nothing going on, because no one ever answers my calls. But that's neither here nor there. Let us talk about the last 3 episodes of Cardfight Vanguard. Now, fortunately, we don't have to spend a lot of time on the Shin versus Kanzaki episode because it's not very good. Okay, first up, what's good about it? I really quite enjoy the bit where we don't see what Shin and Mark are doing in the bathroom. Okay, yeah, you can make a gay joke there. But the thing is that for us, the viewer, at this point, either you're relating to Shin or you're not. And if you are relating to Shin, you probably in your head imagine what's going on in that bathroom besides gay porn. And it is mostly how is Shin reacting to a bad loss like that. And that's pretty interesting, and I quite like that idea that they leave that up to you. You can wonder for yourself, is he sad? Is he angry? How do you deal with things like that? How do you deal with the pressure he's under? It's all a nice little bit. The other thing I enjoy, well, I like the bit where Kanzaki sort of seems to be able to bring Shin to Cray, or however that fucking works, and Kanzaki just seems to do it through sheer force of anger and being a weirdo. That's kind of nice, and I like that bringing someone to Cray is once again represented as a bad thing. Like, it's just the result of anger and borderline insanity. But the other thing I like is that Kanzaki is ultimately just some weirdo man-child who we know will not get better. And I think that fits. Unfortunately, my problem with the episode is that it doesn't really further any of the themes of the show. It's just kind of a card fight episode, which wouldn't be so bad except the fight's not all that interesting. So yeah, now let's move on to what I really want to talk about, and that being these last 2 episodes. These last 2 episodes have some very well executed direction and drama and acting. So because of this, let us begin with what's wrong with them, shall we? So for whatever reason, someone made the horrible decision to make it that alongside this very grounded, realistic, relatable drama is some sort of weird scuffle going on a made-up alternate dimension planet thing where a bunch of furries are in a war with a bunch of cosplayers. And it's bad, and it's stupid, and it made me check out every time, and it has me genuinely worried where we're going with this whole thing. Now, I get the idea is that what we humans do influence Cray and vice versa, so therefore this whole conflict is a sort of retelling of Shin and Eska's relationship and what's been going on in the plot. And I think there is something to that, in as much as the ultimate conclusion is that they have to work together, and however the relationship goes is how it will go. I think there's an interesting idea there, but when it's represented by furries in a badly animated fight against cosplayers, it's just not all that interesting or unique. Also, that final shot of Valkyrian in the destroyed building looks more sort of silly than anything else, but it's a Cray subplot, so why should we expect anything from it? Now that we're through that, let us talk about what we're all here for, what we all know I want to talk about, and that is more scenes with Misaki. We all know it's the best part of the show. I'm not even at the point where I can make this into a joke anymore. Like, seriously, everything relating to Misaki, and by default that means everyone else, is really fucking solid and really well handled and executed. I love the idea that when Shin's walking around, when he's just thinking and contemplating what's coming next, what happens next, what does the future hold, he just seems so lost and like confused, but not in a way that feels over the top or really ridiculous, in a way that really feels like a guy just trying to figure out what the right move next to make is. That is then perfectly brought up by the following scene where we see Ryan and Eska getting along, where they seem in control, in perfect understanding of things. A nice contrast as to how Shin is feeling. Then we see Misaki, who is ready to come home, and oh god, whose ever decision it was to just make it that the representation for Misaki's like inner turmoil is just the sort of emotionless eyes, that person needs a raise. It is such a simple but such a genius thing. The thing about anime characters is that because anime has a history of being lesser in budget, the reason so much emphasis is put on the eyes is because so much emphasis has to be put on those single movements, those frames of animation where a character expresses everything just through the eyes. And that's been captured here perfectly. I always completely understand what's going on in Misaki's head, rather it's fear, confusion, sadness, loneliness. I know it sounds crazy to get so much from just a simple little thing, but it's those simple little things that get to us on an emotional level, and what easier way to get us onto an emotional level than a sad little girl just trying to make sense of the world around her. And that's really the theme at its core. Just everyone trying to understand what to do. No one here is a bad guy. No one here is out to screw anyone over. They all just want to help this little kid. And I love how it's represented through the acting. There's some brilliant directing going on here. And I really love the way everyone kind of addresses Misaki. Like, you get this sense that everyone really wants to help, but they don't know what to do. I love little things like Rai kind of trying to interrupt to keep things from getting too sad. I like Eska not sure if she should be a mother or be a stern figure. Shin just so unsure of what the right way to treat his niece is. It's such a well done, well executed set of scenes. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad there aren't that many scenes of the stupid Cray battle. So then we move on to, we of course get our big confrontation, one final battle between Shin and Eska, because it looks like we move on to weirder shit. And so yeah, Eska gets into a fan service dress. Okay, okay, look, I'm just going to put it up here on Front Street. My big thing with the Eska fan service, I sort of joked with, like, why didn't we get it with other hot characters in the show? But a big part of the problem is Cardfight Vanguard isn't used to dirty humor like this. It would be like all of a sudden if in Teletubbies they started shooting each other. Actually, I would like that. But what I'm trying to get at is that making a big, like, shift like that is just kind of jarring. Especially here when, like, they do it so often and for no reason, and I think putting her in that weird sexy dress kind of makes me not take this as seriously, but I think everything else still works. During the card fight, we get Eska's backstory, and it feels weirdly realistic. We all know how much of what's in the entertainment industry is fake and put on, and I like that idea that when that hit Eska that what's going on, she entered this vulnerable state, and she was at a point, just like with Misaki and Shin, she needed someone to kind of be a stable figure in her life. That's when she met Misaki's dad, and I like that idea that it was just the fact that he was honest with her, that, shut up phone, he treated her like a normal person, and she got to learn to enjoy card fighting. It's a genuinely honest scene, and you sort of see how it affects the rest of the way she deals with other people she likes, i.e. with Nanami. It's why she sort of acts kind of motherly to Nanami, because what got through to her was someone being kind of parental to her. And I think that's a really good bit, and I like that that's what just informs the rest of Eska's actions. She really wants to help and protect Misaki, and does really want to help Shin too. I love when she puts the two options right there in front of Shin, like, okay, do you want to be card fight champion, or do you want to take care of the shop and raise Misaki? And there's a lot of really relatableness to that, and there's a good drama there, because we know what happens. We know Shin doesn't end up card fight champion. We know he just ends up being the dorky uncle who runs a card shop. So it's sort of sad because we know that inevitable future, and it gives a drama when he is like, nah man, I'm gonna beat you, which that was a satisfyingly fun card fight. And then he's just like, I'm gonna do both. We know that's not how life works, and we know that's not how his life is going to work. So it is kind of sad, but it's completely fixed by Misaki laughing and smiling, and when Shin goes up there, and when he, like, tears up, I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna well up a little bit too. Like, you really felt for this aspect of his struggle. You really felt that desire. And I like that idea that they say, like, no, we've gotten bit to her a little bit by bit, but for Shin, getting Misaki to smile and laugh and be happy isn't just about getting her to smile and laugh and be happy. It's him showing himself that he can be there for her and he can do the things she needs him to do. And I think it's a really beautiful moment, and I really loved it. And I really liked this whole thing. I hope it doesn't get ruined by cray crap. So yeah, tell me about all that below, everything you're interested in, and everything about these 3 episodes. If you like the Kanzaki fight, fine. I just didn't. No Vanguard question this week. I'm sorry. Actually, no. Here's a quick one. What is the worst looking SVR color? Because I'm pretty certain it's fucking yellow. So yeah, tell me that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and hopefully join me next week. I'm kind of dying to see Christmas Misaki.